Good morning. Namaste to each of you. Thank you for joining me this morning to honor your mind and your body and your spirit. Let's take a few moments to become present. Find a nice, comfortable seated position where your spine and the back of your neck can sit nice and tall and straight, opening up your chest, opening up your diaphragm, and opening up your heart. Gently close your eyes and soften your thoughts. Soften your eyes and soften your shoulders. And soften your heart. Observe your breath as it is, soft and gentle, breathing life into you with each inhale and relaxation with each exhale. Feel the grace of being present, returning to that awareness again and again. You may open your eyes now. For this morning's intention, you may think of a positive word or phrase to have with you on your mat and perhaps carry with you throughout the day. My intention this morning is all about the new year. So in 2 days, we're going to begin a new year. And so let's talk about resolutions versus intentions. Resolutions are hard and fast goals that are either achieved or broken. We've all experienced broken resolutions made on New Year's Day, often not even making it to Valentine's Day. Intentions are less about a specific goal and more about a shift in mindset to help achieve that goal. So, for example, the classic New Year's resolution is, I'm going to lose X pounds, and fill in the X. Instead, try having the intention of, I'm going to focus on being healthy. It's about seeking out the journey, not the end point. So with intentions, affirmations, and mantras can work together to create a powerful experience. So let's kind of put this into action here. With the intention, we're setting a mindset of, I'm going to focus on being healthy. That's the intention. I'm going to focus on being healthy. So an action step might be an affirmation. I am mindful of what I eat and how I move my body every day. That's the affirmation. I am mindful of what I eat and how I move my body every day. And then if you distill that down, you can kind of bring it down to a triggering mantra word. And that would be, in this scenario, the word healthy. So if you kind of just keep in mind that one word, healthy, it'll kind of unfold and unpack to, I am mindful of what I eat and how I move my body every day. And if you're doing that, then you're going to focus on being healthy and hopefully lose those pounds. So let's try another one. So setting in the intention of, I want to be in the moment without worrying about the past or future. That's the intention. I want to be in the moment without worrying about the past or the future. So, an affirmation or an action step is thinking, I am present, living in the only moment that truly exists right now. The affirmation is, I am present, living in the only moment that truly exists right now. And then your mantra, distilling it down to one word, is presence. So today's class, we're going to work on the intention and the affirmations and mantras, and we'll do it while we're doing Yin Yoga. And so Yin Yoga is often called the yoga of the joints, because unlike other styles of yoga, the emphasis is not on muscles, but on the deep connective tissues. So there's 3 principles of Yin Yoga. The first one being is find your edge. That's your edge. Let your intuition be your teacher while you compassionately lean into the pose. Your edge is going to be different from my edge. So again, find your own edge, and this should be applied to all styles of yoga. And I call the edge the sweet spot, that spot between effort and relaxation. So same thing. The second principle of Yin Yoga is to become as still as you can be. So it's a mental and physical challenge, but it's the gateway to staying present. And the last principle of Yin Yoga is to surrender to time. Allow yourself to transcend the time and the place of right now. So typically a Yin Yoga pose is held from 3 to 5 minutes. We're actually going to hold it about 2 minutes, and there are going to be some poses that we do on one side, then on the other side, and each side will have 2 minutes. So I'll meet you at the mat, but I just wanted to let you know that while we're doing the Yin Yoga, I'm going to be giving you a affirmation and a mantra. And these affirmations were selected to support the intention, today's intention of, and the year's intention of having a happy new year. So let's get started. On the mat. I also would recommend a blanket or a towel, and I have it open. This is my beach towel that I always have. I have it open so that it's kind of a long, narrow setup instead of a square, and then I'm going to fold it over. And that's going to come in handy when we're doing quite a number of the poses. So we're going to start off this down here. Start off in reclined mountain pose. So we're going to roll down on our back to the mat. And you can roll down any way you'd like. Come down. Extend your feet to the bottom of the mat. And if you would kindly put your hands on your tummy area, just around the navel. You'll have your shoulder blades nice and snug in the mat. And point your toes up to the sky. This is reclined mountain pose. It's an active pose. So Yin Yoga has a lot of stillness, but it's not restorative yoga, because your body should have your body should be active within the pose. So by flexing your toes up toward the sky, you can feel the energy running through your legs, and that's active, as opposed to like when we're in Shavasana and you just kind of let everything go. That's more of a restorative pose. So again, with your hands on your tummy. For the pranayama we're going to do throughout the class, I'd like you just to feel the inhales and the exhales And each time you inhale, feel your hands rising while your tummy extends, and then on the exhale, feel your hands fall as your tummy deflates. So we do that a few deep breaths. Big inhale, big exhale. Big inhale and big exhale. Big inhale and big exhale. Big inhale and big exhale. So with the inhale, if you would also invite that pose that we're doing in, just kind of absorb that pose, invite it into your body, kind of when you're breathing the air in, taking those positions of your limbs and just letting them be. And then when you exhale, send that nurturing breath to the joints in your body while you're doing that particular pose. So for our mountain pose, our reclined mountain pose, we're going to inhale, inviting that mountain pose in. Your feet are flexed, you feel the energy in your legs, feel the expansion of your tummy, feel your shoulders nice and relaxed and rolled on the mat. And then with your exhale, you're feeling the deflating of your stomach, but you're also sending that breath to the joints in your ankles, your knees, your hips, wrists and elbows, to your shoulders, and where your neck connects. One more deep breath in, inviting that reclined mountain pose in, remembering all of the cues that come with the mountain pose. And then exhaling, sending that breath to all your joints. Take a few more deep breaths. Alrighty. The next pose, we're going to bring our right knee to our chest, interlace our fingers and wrap them up right below our right knee, bringing that right knee toward our shoulders. Our toes are flexed. That will activate our legs and keep this pose active. And you have a choice of either having your left heel on the mat or just slightly raising it up, maybe 2 to 3 inches. Be sure that your lower back, your navel is tucked to your core if you do raise up your left leg. Just find that sweet spot between effort and relaxation. And we're going to do this for 2 minutes. And I'll give you the affirmation. I enter the new year with an open mind and open heart. I enter the new year with an open mind and open heart. And the mantra is open. And continue your deep inhales and exhales. And you can set your right leg down. And we'll do that on the other side. So we extend right leg down, toes are going to be flexed. Our left knee comes up, interlace our fingers right below the knee, guiding that left knee toward our shoulder. Our left foot is flexed. And again, you can keep your right leg on the mat, or if you like a little bit more, you can raise it up a couple inches. Just make sure that your navel's tucked to your spine, lowering your lower back toward the mat. So we'll start that now. And the affirmation again is, I enter the new year with an open mind and open heart. I enter the new year with an open mind and open heart. And the mantra, the essence of that is open. And you can set both legs down, extending your left leg to the bottom of the mat. Like, the stillness is so different from last week's yoga where I just kept talking all the time. This one I'm super quiet. So that's yin and yang. So the next pose, we're going to slide our right leg up the inner part of our left leg till it forms a figure 4. And this, we're going into recline pigeon. So this is one option for you. The other option would be to place your right ankle on top of your left leg, just above the knee, and then raise your left knee up toward the sky. And that would be another option for recline pigeon pose. Your right knee is guided to the right side of the mat. Right toes are flexed. You can stay here. Or the third option would be to raise your left foot all the way up. Both toes, both sets of toes are flexed up to the sky. You can interlace your fingers behind your left thigh and have this be the recline pigeon pose for you. And we'll start the 2 minutes now. And the affirmation is, I release all things from the past year that has caused any negative attachment. I release all things from the past year that has caused any negative attachment. And the mantra is release. Remember those deep inhales, inviting the pose in. And the exhale, sending nurturing breath to your joints. And you can set both legs down and extend them to the bottom of the mat. We'll do that on the other side. So sliding your left leg up the inner part of your right leg, or left foot up the inner part of your right leg, coming to that figure four position. That's one option for you for reclined pigeon pose. Second option would be to put your left ankle on your right leg just above the knee and sliding your right foot so that your right knee is pointing up to the sky. We're going to flex our left foot and guide our left knee toward the left side of the mat. So that's option 2. And then option 3 is raising up your right foot. Both feet have your toes flexed up to the sky. You interlace your hands behind your right thigh, guiding your right knee toward your chest. And we'll begin now. With the affirmation, I release all things from the past year that has caused any negative attachment. I release all things from the past year that has caused any negative attachment. And the mantra is release. And you can release your legs and bring them back down to the mat, to the bottom of the mat. Boy, I had something specific for that one that I have a negative attachment to. So the next pose is banana pose. So we're going to bring our right leg to the edge of the mat, to the right edge of the mat, maybe out just a little outside the mat. We're going to create a gentle curve. So you can guide your left foot to be alongside of it, or you can cross your ankle, your left foot over your right foot and crossing the ankles. The idea is to not be too strained in this. Get to, where you're kind of in a strained position and then back off to about 70% of that pose, as you'll be holding that for a while. And then with your arms, you're going to bring them overhead. You're going to grab your left wrist with your right hand and kind of send your left arm over to the right. And again, find that sweet spot, but back off a little bit from that. You might, again, think of that 70% of that full extended pose. And we'll start the time. We'll be on this for 2 minutes each side. And the affirmation is, I embrace new challenges, new lessons, and new adventures. I embrace new challenges, new lessons, and new adventures. And the mantra is embrace. You can release, coming back to reclined mountain pose. We'll do that on the other side. So bringing your left foot to the edge of the mat on the left side, or maybe just a little bit outside the mat. Then bringing your right foot alongside of it, or maybe even cross over your right leg over your left leg so your ankles are crossed. Keeping your hips where they were. We send our arms overhead. This time we'll grab the right wrist with the left hand and guide the right arm in a crescent style over to the left side of the mat. We'll begin. The mantra is, the affirmation is, I embrace new changes, new lessons, and new adventures. I embrace new challenges, new changes. New changes, new lessons, and new adventures. And the mantra is embrace. you can return to reclined mountain. The next pose is going to be come up to our hands and knees. So you can come up to your hands and knees any way that works for you. You can roll over to your side and sit up, or you can rock and roll up, crossing your legs, coming over the top, backing come into tabletop. And this is where your towel or your blanket will start to come in handy. So I have mine, again, narrow side or narrow length, and then fold it up. And the first pose we'll do is thread the needle. So we're going to, and you can have the blanket or the towel either support your shoulder when we do thread the needle, or be a nice kind of pillow. So it's just above where your shoulder lands on the mat. I think I'm going to choose the last one. So for thread the needle, we're in tabletop, our weights evenly distributed in our hands, pushing down gently to create space between our shoulders and our ears. Navel's tucked to our spine, knees are right below our hips, and then we're going to send our left arm up along the side and then sweep it under our torso, bringing it over to the right side of the mat, dropping our left ear and our left shoulder down to the mat. And this is where you can adjust your towel or blanket and have it nice and comfortable for the next 2 minutes. So your right hand can either be on the mat or resting on your hip, opening up your chest slightly. Or if you really like, you can extend it up to the sky and opening up your chest even further. So we'll start now. The affirmation is, I welcome new opportunities to grow emotionally and mentally and spiritually. I welcome new opportunities to grow emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And the mantra is grow. And you place your right hand back down on the mat if it's not there already. Gently push coming back up to tabletop. And we'll do that on the other side. So back to tabletop. We're going to raise our right arm up and then bring it down, sweeping it under our torso, bringing our right ear and our right shoulder down to the mat. And your left hand can be either on the mat or on your hip or open to the sky. The affirmation is, I welcome new opportunities to grow emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. I welcome new opportunities to grow emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And the mantra is grow. And you can bring your left hand back down to the mat if it's not there already. Gently push down, coming back up to tabletop. Who knew 2 minutes could be so long? So the next pose is wide-legged child's pose. So you bring your knees out to the edges of the mat, bring your big toes together. You can use your blanket or towel for your head. And you can bring your head down to the mat and either extend your arms forward for a stretch or alongside of you, or just placing them gently on the mat right above your knees. Work in bringing your chest down toward the mat. And we'll start. The affirmation is, I accept that I am responsible for my own happiness. I accept that I am responsible for my own happiness. And the mantra is accept. You can raise your head up, make your way back up to tabletop. The next pose is Sphinx pose. So we're going to come down with our tummy on the mat, and you can support your rib cage if you like with your towel. Just have it sitting right above your rib cage or right under your rib cage. Your elbows are right below your shoulders. Tops of your feet are firmly into the mat. And you're going to push down into your elbows like when we were doing tabletop, we're kind of pushing down to create space. And this is, we're going to push into our elbows and create space, opening up our chest. And if this is a little hard on your position, your back, you can extend your elbows a little bit further. So slide your hands toward the top of the mat. And again, the towel or the blanket might support your rib cage nicely here. And we'll be in this pose for 2 minutes. Let's start. The affirmation is, I am grateful for what I have each and every day. I am grateful for what I have each and every day. And the mantra is grateful. You can relax. Next pose, we're going to come up into a seated position. So you come up to tabletop and just sweep your legs to the side and come into a seated position. On the staff pose, and you can use your blanket, tuck it under your tailbone there. Help support your back in a nice, long, straight line. So coming into staff pose, we're then going to go into sage pose and bring our, keep our right leg long and the toes flexed up to the sky. We're going to bring the left foot over the right and place it on the mat so that your left foot is on the outside of your right knee. Now you can do one of two twists in this. You can bring your left hand down alongside your left foot and then bring your right hand in back of you, twisting open to the right side of the mat. Or if you like, you can wrap your right arm around your left leg, bringing your left fingertips behind your hips and twisting to the left side of the mat. Whichever feels comfortable for 2 minutes. And we'll start now. The affirmation is, I am courageous even when things are unknown to me. I am courageous even when things are unknown to me. And the mantra is courage. And you can gently turn back and come back to staff pose. Both legs are extended, both feet are pointing up to the sky. And we'll do that on the other side. So this time we'll bring our right foot to the outer part of our left leg, right where our knee is. Left toes stay nice and flexed up to the sky. And you can either bring your right hand down to the mat alongside your right foot and your left hand in back of you, twisting open to the left side of the mat, or wrapping your left arm around your right knee, bringing your right hand behind your hips, twisting open to the right side of the mat. And we'll begin. The affirmation is, I am courageous even when things are unknown to me. I am courageous even when things are unknown to me. And the mantra is courage. Release that pose, coming back to staff pose. The next pose is reclined butterfly, and in Yin Yoga, it's actually called butterfly. In regular yoga, we know it as goddess. And it's sitting, bringing the soles of your feet together. And I really like to use my blanket in this one. It's one of my favorite things. I extend the towel to its long length and place it on top of my feet, and then I reach under my legs and grab the ends and wrap them around my feet. So my feet are in this nice snug cocoon. And then keeping my hips toward my ankles, I will recline on my back. Just come down nice and gentle. It's a hip opener. Lowering our lower back toward the mat. And we'll be in this position for 2 minutes. And the affirmation is, I give kindness as easily as I receive kindness. I give kindness as easily as I receive kindness. And the mantra is kindness. You can bring your hands to your legs now and assist your legs to close. Bring the knees up to the sky. And then bring your knees to your chest. Give them a nice gentle hug. And we're going to go into recline twist from here. So we extend both arms out at shoulder height. And then gently drop our knees to the right. And you can use your blanket if you want to rest your knees on. And once your knees have landed to the right, you gently and slowly turn your head to the left to look at your left fingertips. We'll do this for 2 minutes. And the affirmation is, today I choose to be at peace with myself and the world. Today I choose to be at peace with myself and the world. And the mantra is peace. Now turn your head slowly back to center. You lift your knees, bring them back to center. Bring your knees up to your chest and give them a nice hug again. And then we're going to drop the knees or extend the arms out, shoulder height again, and drop the knees over to the left. Bring your towel around. And then slowly turn your head to the right to gently look at your right fingertips. And we'll start this. And the affirmation is, today I choose to be at peace with myself and the world. Today I choose to be at peace with myself and the world. And the mantra is peace. And slowly, gently turn your head back to center, and then gently lift your legs back to center. You give your knees a nice hug to your chest. And then release your legs to the bottom of the mat and prepare for Shavasana. And unlike the other poses, this is a relaxing, restorative pose. Truly considered a yin pose. So you bring your heels to the edges of the mat and just let your feet flop open. You can relax your feet, you don't have to flex them. The energy in your legs is nice and relaxed now. Your arms are diagonally out from your torso, with palms facing up. Shoulder blades are nice and relaxed into the mat. Take the corners of your mouth and gently turn them up into a nice smile. The last affirmation is, today I choose to love myself and all others. Today I choose to love myself and all others. And the mantra is love. And I'll end today with a poem from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Or actually, I think it's a quote. Write it on your heart that every day is the best day in the year. He is rich who owns the day, and no one owns the day who allows it to be invaded with fret and anxiety. Finish every day and be done with it. You have done what you could. Some blunders and absurdities no doubt crept in. Forget them as soon as you can. Tomorrow is a new day. Begin it well and serenely, with too high a spirit to be encumbered with your own old nonsense. This new day is too dear, with its hopes and invitations, to waste a moment on yesterday's.